Alright guys, what is going on? Tonight we have a matchup this evening between Ris3n and Ingt Gaming. They've all played each other once before, and if you recall last time we played the Cast for Me match, I actually 3-0'd the first 3 platinums and got smashed pretty quick. If you watched that TVZ, the last match, well, I hope we have some good shows here all around either way. Stream is up. Keep in mind that there will be a 3-minute delay on the stream, just to make sure we all can't sit here and be sneaky. Which channels and we're good to go. So wait. Alright guys, we're gonna load into Abyssal Reef for the first map. We have TVT. Get the introductions on the way as soon as we all load in. Here we go. Let me know if there's any problems with the stream, audio too loud, or anything like that. Anyway, spawning into the bottom right-hand corner of Abyssal Reef is the blue Terran pieces, representing Ingt Gaming, and in match 1, it is Tyler.
Game paused.
Already got a pause here. Awesome way to start off a match, you know, just need it pause. Looks like we're ready. Get show on the road here. Alright, we see Tyler going to throw down a gas first. Gotta get his depot started. On the other side of the map, representing the red Terran pieces from Ris3n's Embers, it is Lucius. Both players look like they're going for that gas first. Talk about his sound, must have been acting up. Looks like Tyler had a bit of a rally point issue there, rallying over to a supply depot that is being built. Looks like he actually canceled his last one to move that depot. Both players going to get their barracks started about the same time. It looks like Lucius is actually slightly ahead. Means that Reaper should start up a little bit further, a little bit sooner. Again, Tyler with his rally point set across the map. What if Lucius doing the same? No, he's keeping his rally point back. A lot of players will send that rally point across the map. But the problem with the rally point being set all the way out like that, it doesn't put the Reaper on attack move, so you may get picked off by the other Reaper, may get picked off by some Zerglings. And what do we have here? We actually have 2 racks going down at the ramp of Lucius. Will there be a third, or are we just going to see a 2 racks Reaper play here? Or no second guess has been taken, so I'm assuming this is going to be a 2 racks Reaper. Also throwing down that second racks. Probably also looking to get some Marines started, or Reapers started behind this as well. I'm really curious to see where this goes, since we do have an engineering base starting up. We do have the second gas being taken, so both players looking like they're going for that 1 base strat. No engineering bay on the way just yet for Tyler, as he doesn't have an orbital starting either. There we go. Starts up as soon as I say that. We do have 2 Reapers coming out from both sides here. The second Reaper starting up for Lucius. The barracks not building anything just yet, but a factory follow-up behind this. Engineering bay does finish up, so it looks like both players might be going into that Banshee play. As we do have the first Reapers on the way out, and let's see if Tyler catches it, or will his Reaper get picked off here. He does catch it, and we do have the Reaper battle beginning. Tyler's Reaper there going to eat that grenade, while Lucius gets on up the cliff here and gets out. But the second Reaper will be joining in here. As we do have no more Reapers on the way just yet. We do have Marines starting up here, but it does look like Lucius was slightly supply capped there. Let's get that started up. Clear it up here, and the starport on the way. With the tech labs, so it looks like there's going to be some tank push coming out of this. Or he may actually go into that Banshee play behind this Reaper. As we have Tyler's Reapers making their way into the southern part of the base here. Couple of Marines here to try and push this away. Where is Lucy's Reaper? Did it actually get picked off already? As we know, Reapers versus Marines, and Reapers should always win this. Tyler already picking off the 2 Marines, getting some good position here. The starport going to finish. Moving his Reapers into the mineral line. He's going to start trying to pick off as many SCVs as he can. He does get 2 so far. A couple more Marines are going to pop out here to try and push away these Reapers. He's focusing down the gas. Not paying attention there. He is getting the scouting information. Sees that there is a missile turret out here. Getting these Reapers into a very good position. SCVs were pulled. As 2 more looks like they're going to fall. Marine going to fall here and microwave away his hurt Reaper there. A couple more Marines pop out here. These Reapers should end up falling to this round of Marines. Because he does only have 1 Reaper left alive in here, trying to kite this down and pick off as many SCVs as he can. We should just get this Reaper out of here, let it heal up, and come back for round 2. As we do have him swapping this around, looks like he's going to get the medevac started up here. No tank starting up just yet for Tyler. Meanwhile, the first tank is already on the way for Lucius, but both players, again, still on 1 base. No stim starting up just yet. For either player, actually. It looks like Tyler is going to position himself down here and take this expansion finally. As we do have Lucius as well following up to start his natural command as well. The Embers member is indeed Lucius. Because unfortunately the clan tags like it's shown, the Reaper going to get destroyed by that siege tank sitting behind the factory there. But I should tell Tyler that there is siege tanks in play, means he might want to get his started up as well. Because he does have the natural on the way, no siege tanks starting up just yet for Tyler. Because overall, Tyler's position looks like he's going to start getting a little bit further ahead here as his economy is going to start to kick in a little bit sooner. +1 attack has started up for Lucius. We do not have any upgrades starting up, whereas Tyler is going for the double Evo. Double eBay. Looking to start bidding on them upgrades. Natural Command is actually going to finish up here, and he's going to be able to start mining from his second base, as we do have a drop coming out here for Lucius. 6 Marines and a Widow Mine. Going to make their way across the map towards, looks like Tyler's main base. While Tyler is actually moving out with a drop of his own. Very similar fashion, except this one has a Marauder in it. So he's also going to be making his way towards that main base and try and get position here. But there is a missile turret here. There is a tank still positioned behind this factory, which means this drop should get shut down very easily. Whereas Lucius is actually going to be able to make his way in here. There's no missile turrets out. There's no tanks out. Just a handful of Marines. There's only 1 tank. That tank is on the low ground. So this drop, if it gets positioned here, should be able to get quite a good bite out of it. Tyler's main mineral line. As Lucius is going to boost in here, as Tyler is also going to boost in on the other side. Drop coming in here. Widow Mine unloads. Barrows. Marines are going to unload as well. They're going to start focusing down his SUVs. 2 SUVs going down already to the Widow Mine drop. 3 getting picked off. And it looks like the F2 command there coming out from Lucius as he does lose the rest of his drop, but the Widow Mine is still here. 1 Hero Marine here actually picking off a couple more SUVs for his trouble. Where he gets picked off. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Tyler has cleaned up 7 before his drop actually gets pushed away. I think 1 medevac has made it out alive. As the worker count is still going to be slightly even with Tyler in the lead by 3 workers. I think he's trying to posture up to move out here. That F2 command once again just being a bit of a nuisance as he's going to F2 his way back here to clean up this Widow Mine. As he does get a missile turret started. Does he have a scan for this? No, he's going to have to wait for his missile turret, which should finish up slightly behind this Widow Mine, which means it will get another shot off. He is going to either lose a couple more SCVs here, probably a couple Marines as well. Move some of his army down to the low ground. Missile turret does finish up just barely in time. As we do have another drop looking like it wants to make its way into the natural this time. I believe we had a follow come through there. Alex Tang, thank you for the follow, Alex. I actually need to update this title. struggle is always real, folks. But a drop makes its way into the natural base of Tyler. Missile turret going to get focused down. 7 SCVs have fallen. And Tyler in position here to try and clean this up. The tank is not siege. It's on the low ground, which means he does have vision to shoot up. But he will clean this up, but not before he loses 7 more SCVs. Evening out the worker count to 26 to 26. But Tyler's army supply continues to grow and get further and further ahead as he looks to make his way across the map here. There is a missile turret on the low ground, so Lucius will be able to see this push coming. As it makes its way in here, but this missile turret will fall pretty quick. A scan being thrown down on the high ground. For the natural to see exactly what all is here. This army supply 42 to 24. Looks like Tyler says, I'm going to go for it. I see exactly what you have. I'm going to push my way up this ramp. SCVs being pulled. He's going to get on top of these. Tanks are going to siege up. 9 SCVs fallen already. 11 SCVs. And the tanks are going to get to work with this command center. We don't mind getting some decent connection there on these Marines. But it wasn't enough to push this back as the natural command center will end up falling. These tanks, as he does come back here to start cleaning this up. Marauder should be able to clean this up very well. And Tyler's just going to continue to rally across the map. He actually lands a Viking to try and push his back faster. They destroy his command center, which is burning. I think he should be able to pick this Viking up and go after it, but SCV is coming down the ramp here. So 15 SCVs fallen. 28 to 16. Army supply is still ahead for Tyler as well as he makes his way up this ramp. But he needs to get on top of his tank. He needs to pick up and drop on top of his tank. Use his Liberator to siege up on top of the tank. There you go. As Lucius is going to start falling here, the tank is actually stuck and can't get out from behind the factory, which will fall. Lull being said as he realizes his mistake there, keeping the tank hidden. 5 GG will be called, and Tyler will be taking game number 1. So as we make our way into game number 2, it will be 1-0 in favor of Insight Gaming. Welcome back, guys, for game number 2. Insight Gaming currently up 1-0. Falling into the bottom right-hand corner of Ascension to Ire is the yellow Zerg pieces from Amber's hometown crib. Keep in mind, in case anybody here is not from Ris3n, Ris3n community is comprised of quite a few different clans, all favoring some kind of name, using fire in some way. Anyway, spawning into the top left-hand corner is the red Terran pieces, taking the game number 1 with pretty good fashion, you know. Very good macro, didn't panic overall. It's the red Terran pieces of Tyler. Some very good game sense there. We do have our Overlord making his way across the map here to position himself outside Tyler's base. Get that scouting information. We do have a hatchery first coming down for the yellow Zerg of hometown crib. Whereas Tyler's going to make his way down here to scout with an SCV. Which is something a lot of Terran players should really start to take note of to do. The early SCV scout can actually give you a lot of information. Make sure there's no cheeky cheese on the way. Make see if that Zerg actually took that spawning pool first or took that hatchery first, which the hometown crib actually did. He'll be able to make his way across here and see that this is a hatch first play. To give him a little bit of time to get his Reaper started, get his own command center started back home. Probably going to make his way up this ramp with SCV here to see exactly what's going on. See that there will be a spawning pool about halfway done. See that there is mining gas. A very standard opening overall. No baneling nest going down just yet, as the pool is not done. So Tyler doesn't have to worry about that right now. His hometown crib's overlords are slowly floating away across the map to get their own scouting information done. Be able to get over here and position yourself outside the natural and see that there will be a Reaper on the way. See that there should be a command center down as well. Reaper gonna float right on by. Should get spotted by this overlord. SCV is also going to make his way home. Speed has started up. And then here, our spawning pool, it is swimming. There's Zerglings here are going to get to work flexing the muscles a bit, you know. Gotta build up that strength. Strength +1, strength +2. Reaper here, going to get microed back off creep, try to pick off these fewlings. Get it here and try to get his own scouting information done. Tyler, you can't lose this Reaper. There are 2 queens here, this means you should just realize you're not going to get in here and go on away. Go park them somewhere, save them for later. It's back home at Tyler's base. It does look like we have a bit of that 2-1-1 coming along here. Looks like we will have some tank pressure coming out. It's actually an interesting opening here. Started up 2 Marines. Started up a second barracks. Starport on the way. I wonder if he knows he started a tech lab here. If he's going for a 2-on-1. Probably for the Banshees. Usually starts to favor those Banshees after a while. As the queens are going to get started spreading creep here and injecting larvae everywhere. Speed has finished up. Interesting thing here back from Wings Delivery Day. Pull a couple drones out, get that economy rolling. Evo chamber going to go down here. The second gas and then natural. Greens are going to come out here and take their position around the Zelnaga watchtower to make sure they have the vision of the middle of the map. So very crucial. Bunker going to go down here as well. So he does start up a tank. No tech lab on the barracks just yet. The stem is actually going to be delayed here a bit. As he's going to get his wall off started, position the tank behind that wall. He is ready to knock down these 4 lings as they come in here. This is always something as the Terran player in me says I love watching as these lings just go boom to this tank. They're going to come in here and just disappear. Not getting much of a scouting information off besides seeing that there is indeed a tank sitting out there. Tech lab finally being added onto the barracks to start that stem. Another barracks being added on as well. And on the other side of the map, we do have our 3rd base has been taken by hometown crib. From here, we do just see him creeping up the map, getting things out. It's like Roach Warren on the way, getting that +1 carapace out to make those tanks a little bit lose a little bit of value, but should still trade out pretty well against roaches. He does continue his tank production. Like he is favoring that tank marine medevac play. On the other side of the map, we have our +1 carapace and Roach Warren on the way with our 3rd base down. Tyler not seeing this at all. He's actually getting spore crawlers out here to make sure there's no banshees or anything on the way. As we do have the Pult Viking on the way. Go out to start that hunt for overlords. Start positioning themselves around the map here to check for third bases, check for any kind of hidden tech that may be on the map. Roach army is going to start building up here. Currently up to 8 roaches so far. With 2 tanks, the Pult Viking want to make his way out on the map here to see if he can't find himself a few overlords of his own. You guys should be able to find this one that's sitting right here above the natural sooner or later. Which he will finally do. And about this time is when Tyler should start to add on a couple more barracks. Maybe get his third base started. As he does need to keep his base count about even here with Hometown Crib, who has gone at the 3 base, and his economy is currently 43 to 38 in workers, so about even in worker count. Hometown Crib being slightly favored. Getting that roach speed, getting the +1 melee started up for his Zerglings. We have a few more roaches being added on here. The third base was taken. Droning up that third base, getting it saturated, pushing the creep out far and wide across the map. Pooping out these tumors everywhere. As more and more overlords are going to float their way across the map, as the first drop is going to come out here for Tyler, which is going to get spotted by this overlord pretty quickly as he flies it straight out on the map. The Hometown Crib should be able to defend this drop here very easily. As roaches are going to make their way out here and probably try to catch this drop and see what's going on, or just bypass it entirely and just head straight on the map, kill off these roads, take the vision here. This drop does finally get seen. He is going to have to pull back his army again. Come back here and deal with this as he continues to fly right through the vision of Hometown Crib, through all the overlords, over all the creep. And already in position to deal with this is Hometown Crib, so this drop shouldn't get too much done here. As Tyler sees this, and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep my Marines alive and back them out of here. Start to use these, actually should use this drop to just start cleaning up creep here, but he should do. Looks like he will finally do, as the overlord here is going to end up falling. Viking already with 2 kills. Just start very quickly to take away that map vision of the overlords. Drop does finally get cleaned up overall. As a couple more overlords are going to make their way on the map. It looks like Tyler is prompting to move out here. He does have a very strong army here, but the army supply in favor is about even. It is in favor of Tyler at 69 and 66. Worker count is heavily in favor of Hometown Crib, as Tyler's going to get just F2 his army out here and move on out. He does take his third base behind this. But this should have gotten spotted, as the overlord did have vision of the lower round of the ramp here. Roach is not really in position to defend anything, as the push does come out here. Dan should be thrown down for this creep, as he does stem forward on the creep. Tanks are going to siege up down here in front of the 4th base location, as the roaches are completely out of position right now. Looks like they're going to try to sandwiches, as he is just going to be able to keep pushing forward, as these roaches are heavily out of position. As Tyler's position here is actually getting very, very well played, sieged up. A lot of banelings have finished up though, and he should be seeing this. These banelings do have +1/1. Should get quite a bit of damage here, as there are some corruptors out on the map to knock down these liberators, knock down these medevacs. But the tanks are in position, and the roaches are going to come up from behind here. Why did you forget about these roaches? As the roaches are going to come in the back and start cleaning up all these tanks. We do have the Zerg sandwich beginning, as the liberators are going to be forced to unsiege, and there's just too much Zerg here at this point, as he's on creep way too deep. And the next round of army coming in here for Tyler is consisting of some Marines and some Widow Mines. Going to have to burrow as soon as they can, but they might actually just get picked off as a huge chunk of Ravagers just get ready to be morphed in. 11 Ravagers just now finishing up, and this might be it for Tyler, as worker army supply is 71 to 38. He gets pushed back here. He overstepped his bounds, overextended on that push actually, as Hometown Crib says, alright, I've killed your army, it's time to move out on my own. Counterattack here is the rest of your army is just kind of trailing across the map. This is just going to start bleeding out units more and more. His hometown crib is just going to be able to keep pushing back. He didn't bother with the Medivacs. He will be able to get in here and knock down this third base as the orbital does finish up. I think it's not going to be lifted. A tank is going to siege up on the high ground, but these Liberators are going to end up falling to the Corrosive Bile. As the third base also gets picked off here. And at this point in time, hometown crib has to back off and max out, and he can just crush Tyler at this point easily. Even that tank out there, surprised he didn't just pick up the free tank kill. But 19 SCVs have fallen. Those were all the SCVs that were down here in the natural, actually. That gives the worker count 72 to 40 with the army supply. Not much better for Tyler. His hometown crib could just solidify his lead by getting his fourth base up, which he has done. Get it saturated, and just tech swap into the hive, which we do see starting up. Looks like he's just I'm going to make another push back out on the map here. But by feeble army supply, the supply not really in favor of Tyler at all, as Lucius is just going to keep his position, keep the map control out here in the middle of the map. As he will be able to just keep rallying more and more army with this. Gotta love the creep block. Tyler's actually favoring more and more production. As he adds on more army production, it looks like he is favoring just to get that two-base play going as he's building his third base back on location. His main almost mined out. Not really using those mules in that main, and not really muling from his natural either. He's just building more SCVs to try and get his worker count back up to where it should be. But he needs to use those mules. There's a couple spine crawlers being added on, some more static defense back home, and 2-2's about to finish up here for this next fight. Marines going to come up here and go, oh shit. Got kicked off. The big Zerg army, I don't really like this at all. So that Marine, as all the Banelings are going to make their way around to the north side of the map here. And once again, just going to try to set up that position. And we're going to get sandwiched here as Tyler's going to have to stem forward. He's going to start sieging up these tanks, get rid of these creep timbers. Which is a start, but he's got a long road to climb if he wants to get back up here with hometown crib to even out this army supply, even out the worker supply. The army is 84 to 76. If you do have a run by up here in the north side, into Tyler's third base once again, the army SCVs here going to have to get pulled as Banelings are just going to chase down these SCVs, start cleaning them up. 14 SCVs have fallen here. Another detonation about to fall up these Banelings as they continue to just roll right into the natural of Tyler. As 30 SCVs have fallen now. And they still continue to be chased around the map by these Banelings. At this point, Tyler having to unsiege and come all the way home. The army here is going to get trapped on the ramp as he tries to make his way up. And Corrosive Bile should start falling here. They actually do not. He's just going to be able to step forward and get some Ravagers here. Clean up these, but the economy damage being done. Which means Tyler is going to have to make a push. The hometown crib just has to hold out for one more attack from Tyler. That should be about it. As 37 SCVs has fallen, it's 71 to 15 of workers. As the tanks here in the middle of the map are going to get cleaned up as well. Liberator getting one of his Ravagers here. Before it is also going to get killed off by these Corruptors as Tyler is going to make his way forward with his Bioforce. Still a very heavy army for Tyler at 58 to 60, or well, it was 68 to... The army supply just grows. The Broodlords are already on the way for hometown crib. Tyler is just going to keep pushing his way forward onto the map here. Try and get up here and knock down this fifth base here. The Banelings are going to start finishing up and just roll right in. The splits not being the best. Marauders taking some hits, but losing a few Marines as well. Looks like Tyler just wants to get this hatchery in before he actually dies out here. Marines in the back actually over here killing Overseers and not up here helping with the army at all. As the Broodlords are going to start tearing into this army. Marines are going to fall, and that should be it, as Tyler is going to have to tap out. At 76 to 12 in army supply and 71 to 15 of workers. I don't think you got much left, Tyler. His 3-3 is about to finish up for our Zerg friend here. The hometown crib looking like he's going to take game number 2 off this final push. And tie the series up at 1-1. GG will be called. That's it. Thank you for the follow, Blunt Reality. 710. Also, thank you for the follow, Dr. Apocalypse. But what basically happened there, Tyler had a really good position early on. And when he went to take his third, he didn't get it saturated fast enough. But at the same time, his early push was actually very strong and very well played. But he overextended so hard by pushing up that ramp and not realizing there's still a chunk of army missing it there for Lucius, or Hometown Crib. That will knock Tyler out of the running here. Insight Gaming will be pulling in our next player. We'll be right back with you as the next map will be decided. What is up, Ris3n? What is going on? Give a little tidbit there for everybody. Waiting on the map to be loaded up here. They still fly has gone AFK. I'm assuming still fly has gone AFK, which I mean, always wait for him to come back. No harm done. Good chance to find another cold drink. Or not. Welcome back once again, folks, for game number 3 of Insight Gaming versus the Ris3n community. It is a platinum and diamond matchup, and spawning into the bottom left-hand corner is a yellow Zerg pieces representing Ris3n. From Ambers, it is Hometown Crib. Spawning into the top right-hand corner is the orange Zerg pieces. From Insight Gaming, looking to take the series and make it 2-1. It is the orange Zerg pieces of Ris3n. So the next matchup is ZVZ. Thank you for the follow, Ris3n. Thank you very much for the follow, good sir. Next matchup is going to be ZVZ this time around, folks. It may be quick and maybe a nice long roach battle as it turns out to be later in the game. As we do see a hatch gas pool going down for Beyond here on the other side of the map. Both players taking that back safety expand. They both are going to be going hatch gas pool. So that Acolyte, one of the bigger map pools in the ladder this time around. One personally I do not enjoy playing on, but for some reason it's probably one of the maps I win the most on. This is the map last week actually, in which I did come back against one of Ris3n's community members. One of mine's my friends. He's like every Terran's best friend. As the Overlords are going to make their way past each other here. Make their way down to the south side and north side of the map. See exactly what's going on the other side of the map. I'm going to get down here and see that there is a expansion taken in the back. So eventually will Hometown Crib. The speed does start up first for Hometown Crib, but no speed on the way just yet for Ris3n. I think he's favoring that queen production. Speed now is starting up for both players. The speed advantage is going to be slightly in favor of Hometown Crib, as it will finish up first. But that can be a very short-lived advantage, or it can be very long depending on how it unfolds here. But there's no real reason for a Zerg to ever cancel speed once when it starts up, unless you're doing something cheeky. You know, looking for that fast layer. But we do have a Baneling Nest thrown down here. This is going to be an offensive Baneling Nest, as Hometown Crib was looking to make the first move across the map. Gun does have some Lings. The Queen already in position to push these two away. These Lings are going to be able to make their way up here and get blocked off here. Not get much scouting done at all. As we do have a lair on the way instead of a Baneling Nest. Rather interesting choice. Could be going into that fast Mutatech. Could be going into that Hydralisk Den. Getting some lurkers out, you know, right away. As we do have gases being added on for Ris3n. Meanwhile, Hometown Crib is still only on one gas. So he's looking to be aggressive here with the Ling Bling play. We do have quite a few Lings making their way across the map already. But the question is will Ris3n be able to hold this? As he does have a Baneling Nest done back home for Hometown Crib. He will be able to just push up here and eventually break this wall and maybe kill off all three of these queens. Thank you for the follow, Kananami stream. The Banelings are going to start morphing in on the low ground here. 8 on the way so far. There are 3 queens here that should be able to block off this ramp very effectively. As the Spire has started up, so it comes down to time. If Ris3n can hold this, he'll be in a very good position, as he will have that fast Mutatech out. But as Hometown Crib is already making his way up the ramp here, some of these Banelings and Lings are going to be able to slip in past these queens. That nation should be pretty juicy, as the first 2 queens are going to fall to the Lings. As he all out aggression here, he's going to have to fight with drones, fight this last queen just to survive. As 4 Lings are going to pop out here. That's not going to be enough, as 3 drones have fallen. Even more behind that. 4, 5. Looks like this is going to be a quick ZVZ after all, folks. So many drones are falling. We're up to 15 so far, as more Banelings roll in here looking for that detonation on top of the drone line. As 12 Lings are going to finish up. Ris3n, I just don't think was ready for this, as there's no spine crawlers down, nothing here to really block off the ramp. As detonation is about to happen, he's going to 38. As almost all of Ris3n's workers It's 23-3, and GG will be called as Hometown Crib takes this 2-1. So I think Brion just thought he had more time to go and beat it on a bigger map, but in ZVZs, we all know how that goes. We'll be right back with you while we get the next matchup here for Ris3n versus Insight Community. The Insight Gaming. Alright guys, we are back with game number 4 in the series of Ris3n versus Insight Gaming. Spawning into the bottom right hand corner is the yellow Zerg pieces Because what ZBZ should be played like is Ling Bling early game. Is Yellow Zerg bases of Hometown Crib from Ambers, representing Ris3n community. Spawning into the top left-hand corner of Interloper, pulling off the extractor trick is the red Zerg pieces from Inside Gaming. It is Xerxes. Xerxes is the first player in the Diamond Division for Insight Gaming. Xerxes is going to start his Overlord float across the map. As we do have another ZVZ on our hands, his Hometown Crib is also going to follow up, but he's also going for the hatch first. Whereas Xerxes looking to be the more aggressive player, more or less, going for that spawning pool right away, getting his gas afterwards. Looks like he will be the more aggressive player, as we do have a low ground hatch being taken this time. As on Interloper, a very awkward map. Spawning pool just now going down with gas as well. About to finish up for Hometown Crib. Xerxes already showing that he wants to be the more aggressive player. Also getting his hatchery started on his first natural as well. Other than that, Interloper, a very awkward map. I forget the name of the map was, but it actually reminds me of one previous. It was back in like HOTS days. In a way, it's like a circle. Spirals. Had a gold expansion back then. Kind of hidden behind the trees. The other thing to note about this map is there are a lot of rocks blocking a lot of tree paths through here. Locking these down opens up the map a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to navigate around the map. Other than that, it's a very straightforward map, as we do have the first couple lings making their way across the map here for Xerxes. First two queens are going to start up. The speed started up about the same time for both players. Xerxes' natural is about to finish up, but we do have these lings get ready to make their way in here for that bit of scouting information. There will be a natural down. That could be able to pick off any of these drones as they were immediately pulled away back to the main. Going to come in here and start to try to at least pick up one. Drones are going to be pulled this round. They're delaying some mining time here by pulling these drones. But a couple lings will pop out to push these away. These two lings shouldn't make it out too much further. As the queen does pop out, it should pick off both of them. Xerxes already seen that there is, in fact, a queen down in the natural. But we do have a very quick roach war in here. For Hometown Crib, looks like he's skipping the baneling nest. Immediately going right in there. Going to start giving these Zerglings a workout they didn't get back on Ire. Gotta get that +1 strength, boys. Do have an Evo chamber being added on for Xerxes. Also looking to take his third base. Is going to make his way out here. His speed should be finishing up as he makes his way across the map. The speed is done for both players, but there are 8 roaches out here. Get ready to pop for Hometown Crib. He will be able to be a little more defensive. Xerxes getting this round on the queen, getting a free queen here to pick off, as well as a few Zerglings as well, but these roaches are going to pop out, realizing that he's not going to be able to get much damage done without any banelings here. As these roaches are going to start to make their way out on the map. It looks like they're going to start to push out and try and keep Xerxes back on his side of the map. Third base not quite taken just yet. 16 lings are about to pop out for Hometown Crib, but Xerxes also rallying his own lings back out on the map. 4 more on the way. Baneling Nest is also about to finish, but these roaches are in a very good position here, as they won't be able to get much of a surround with these Zerglings, but it looks like the lings are just going to try and make their way straight across the map into the natural base. The Hometown Crib also being the aggressive player, coming back the other way. 2 spy crawlers have been added on back home for Xerxes for his defense. Aren't quite done just yet. The Baneling Nest is going to start getting poked down here. You're going to get on top of these spine crawlers already finished. Get on top of these queens, but Xerxes getting pushed in. Will he be able to hold on? Drones being pulled off the line here to try and help with these, and this roach push getting some damage done already. 4 drones have fallen. These spine crawlers aren't going to get much value out of them, as they will die before one finishes. So, as the Zerglings are just going to make their way up the ramp into the natural base here, or into the main. As more lings are going to pop out here, but 5 drones have fallen so far. Economic damage has been done. He is getting on top of the drone line. 6 more, 8 more. GG was called as Xerxes just leaves. Not even a GG. Give us a second here. We seem to have forgotten a very specific mod. There we go. Actually, nearly kicked from the party there. But go to the banter in the party chat. He's still flying myself. It's alright. Gonna throw his laptop out the window. But here we go, folks. Match starting up. This is possibly match point for Inside Gaming. It's spawning into the bottom right hand corner. Showing a very cheeky roach push last game. It's the yellow Zerg pieces of Hometown Crib from Ambers. Show your mercy. This glow cut fun has been wished to both players. And spawning into the top left hand corner, representing Inside Gaming, is the red Protoss pieces of Icy Real. Icy Real? That's a very interesting name. I'm only call him Real. That just seems to be easier way to do that. Already starting off as his high ground wall off here. Making his way out on the map. Probius here going to go scout out the other side of the map, see exactly what he's up against. As we should just see, there we go, hatch first for Hometown Crib on Odyssey. Odyssey, another one of those interesting maps. Very big map. Probably one of the bigger maps in the pool. Outside Acolyte, outside Ire. As you're just going to see a quick scout around the mineral line here from Probius. He's going to be thrown on patrols. We do see the spawning pool being thrown down here for Hometown Crib. Gas has been finished up here for Icy Real or Real. Our red Protoss. You start getting mining that gas starting now or sooner or later. As Probius is going to make his way around here, see exactly what he's up against. Just going to see if there is a spawning pool down. Not quite done just yet. There is 3 mining gas. I saw that there was hatch first. A very standard opening looking so far. Of course, last game, Hometown Crib showing exactly that that is very much not the case. With that very cheeky roach push. As we do have this Overlord getting up into position over here. Above the natural base to see exactly what's going on. As the pylon for the natural has been thrown down. Cybernetic score is about to finish up as well. But overall, very standard openings for both players. Our probe friend here is going to make his way down to the 3rd, 4th base locations. For our Zerg to see if there is a 3rd base, which there is not. I was curious to see if he actually tries to throw down a pylon block or anything here. Make sure that 3rd base can't be taken right away. Park myself out here in this 3rd, 4th base location. It's very interesting to see which way players will expand on given maps. Like here, Zerg could possibly expand to the north or expand to like the southwest position right here. Personally, as a Terran, I try to get control of the low ground as much as I can. With that being said, I'll try to expand down more in this location as he does take his 3rd base down here. Bill was kind of juked there. He was checking to see if it would go down in the north. He'll eventually be able to see that there is indeed a 3rd base down. As the depth is going to make its way into the natural base here to try and get a couple drone kills. Going to get in here. Speed has finished up. As well as Overlord Speed, I imagine that was. Yeah, we do have Overlord Speed being done. So looking to get that Scouting information out, looking to get that mobility overlords, get in position around the map here. As 2 drones do end up falling over here from the Adept. It will have finally been cleaned up by drones and some queens. But Adept picking up 2 kills on drones is actually kind of worth it, you know. Not too bad of a trade. Get that little bit of economic damage done, but not really game-ending damage, as we all know. But we do have Blink starting up, so we will be seeing some Blink Stalkers coming into play. Overlord will get in here and see that there is indeed a Twilight Council. I have to assume that with no Adepts on the map, that it might end up being Stalkers. As the first sentry here is going to get to work on this Overlord and try and pick it off before it gets out of here. But we do also have a robotics facility coming down behind this. But it looks like we might end up seeing some heavy Blink Stalker play. Or maybe some late game Immortal push. Like that, maybe just a Warp Prism up. But it looks like he's going to blink up the ramp. The wall off the ramp so he can get in position here and just try and do as much damage as he can. As an Overlord is making its way across the map here to get in position outside of the natural. That is looking exactly like it's going to do, but Immortal already on the way. Can this Immortal even get out? I don't think this Immortal can get out through here. I think that Immortal is actually stuck. We do have a Roach push making his way across the map. So if this Immortal is actually stuck, that might actually be a bit of a problem of holding this. As the 3rd base is going to get taken, but Overlord will see that, and the Roach army is going to make its way across the map straight up into here. Try and knock down this 3rd base. Protoss in position here to try and push it away, which he will end up doing. Oh, I guess the Immortal can get out. I thought it had the same space as a Stalker. Quite interesting that it's only one. But with the Immortal here, this Roach push will not get much more done, so he is just going to take his army home. Continue to tech up, get that economic train rolling, as he does have a layer starting up. 2 Evo chambers are about to finish up. As from here, we do wind up going into more of a mid to late game composition for both players. As the Stalkers are going to get to work here on these Overlords to try and pick them off. No Phoenix is here, so you can't really just fly around and pick them off that way, but the Overlords are just kind of going to be stuck back here for now. No Warp Prism on the way just yet. As more and more Immortals are getting added on here. As we start to reach more of a, not sure to say a stalemate in the game. It looks like Protoss is finally getting ready to start moving on the map, as we do have a hallucinated Phoenix being sent out here for that scouting information. Try to figure out if there is a 4th base for Zerg to see exactly where the Zerg army is. Draw the attention to some of these Overlords. This Overlord out here on the ramp should get picked off by these Stalkers. He is going to blink underneath them. Reveal that he does have blink, if it wasn't revealed already. Queens are going to knock down this Phoenix that is hallucinated. Roach army continues to grow. We do have some barrow play coming in here for these Roaches. Have +1 attack and Roach speed on the way, so he might end up going into that tunneling claw play. But another robotics facility and a robotics bay being added on here, so it looks like we're going to start possibly seeing that Disruptor, or seeing that Colossus tech come out. No Templar Archives on the way just yet, so no Storm. As both players just continue to tech up, continue to try and get in position here to make sure they can get as much damage done as they can with this push coming up. As we do have the Ravagers morphing in here. 10 Ravagers so far. There's another Phoenix is making its way across the map here to get that scouting information. Sees that there are indeed Ravagers out. And 1-1 is about to finish up for Zerg. We do have charge lots and +1 attack about to finish up. Charge was recently just started, so it will be delayed a little bit. Big Daddy Immortals here are the question. Can they get the purchase they need here to just knock this army down, as this army supply is 85 to 73 in favor of Hometown Crib, but another warp in here. As more units are being built, worker count about even. Here we go, the first big battle is about to start up here. Force fields being thrown down, not getting the best of force fields. Second one being added on, but the corrosive biles are raining down on top of this Protoss army as he continues to push forward. But the Concave is in favor of Hometown Crib, as Real is getting pushed back out of his 3rd base. Next is not getting focused on just yet, as Protoss does do another round of warp ins. But looks like he will be able to hold on here and start to push his Roach army back, as it's just Ravagers left. He should be able to get on top of them, as Charge has about to finish up. +2 attack has started with Thermal Lance behind this. Another blink forward here, trying to shave off as many of these units as he can, as he continues to chase his Zerg army back home on creep now, so he won't be able to get much more out of that army, as he will just back up here and get back in position here to defend his third base once again and let his tech finish up. Thermal Lance, we do have a Warp Prism on the way. While on the other side of the map, +2 attack, +2 Carapace has started up for the Roaches. Fourth base has been taken, has finished up. But meanwhile, his base count is staying about even, as we do have a fourth base starting up for real as well. You're going to come up here and snipe out this Overlord. Very interesting that he's actually expanding towards the northeastern side of the map, and he hasn't taken this expo to the south just yet. And it is being added on as a Roach Ravager army is going to try and get up here and find position, but he will. Looks like he does see his Protoss army. Will not be able to get much out of that. Alright, we supplied 95 to 90 in favor of Protoss, as the first Colossus is out. And Thermal Lance has finished up. Charge has finished up. You should start to see the charge lots being added in here. But we also have a Spire and a Hydralisk Den on the way. We're looking to get that Corruptor tech started. Looking to get the Hydralisk tech started. There's a Warp into Zealots here, as the Protoss army is going to come up here and have to deal with this. Some Changelings being dropped here to try and block this off. The bots are going to start to get on top of this army. Push this back. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, a run by Lings into the main and the natural base's location. 5 probes have fallen, as the Militia Corps is having to come back here to help deal with this. No Photon Overcharge being down, but there is Colossus tech out here, so you should be able to clean this up. And the natural base does end up falling, as once again, the Lings are going to just start to shove forward and get up into this main base, trying to pull Protoss out of position, but he does have army here to deal with this. Burrow Lings in the main base. Gonna be kind of a rude awakening here shortly for Real, as he does have an observer, so he will be able to see that. But a lot of economic damage being done. Pylons falling, shutting down a couple gateways. Forge being knocked down as well. Protoss does finally come back to clean this up, but the army supply is starting to climb in favor of Real, which he needs to find some damage after this. The only way to do this is try to find as much damage as he can to make his tech swap happen. As the Hive is on the way, 8 more Ravagers and 4 more Roaches are about to pop out. Unit tab here, 20 Roaches on the map right now. The 21 Stalkers and 3 Colossus with the Immortals as well. But it looks like Protoss has reached that point in time in the game when he feels safe enough to push out on the map. Start finding damage of his own. There are some Changelings here. See exactly where this army is at, as he does make his way out towards the 4th base, 3rd base location. Colossus so forth just trailing in behind this. Stalkers are going to get in here and start to battle with these Ravagers as they blink back here to get away from that Corrosive Bile. Like, one Stalker will eat that. The Thermal Lance here just chewing through to this Zerg army as he continues to push forward. Army supply is actually evened out. There is no Warp Prism here to reinforce behind this. So this is pretty much all or nothing for Real. He backs up away from the Corrosive Bile, which does land on top of an Immortal and pop that Immortal's shields. So the Hardened Shield will not be up for that one Immortal. His Immortal's in the front. Some Force Field's being thrown down here to try and zone in and trap some of this Zerg army as he continues to push forward onto the map. Queen's falling behind this as well as he continues to shove forward. Army supply is starting to swing in favor of Hometown Crib at 107 to 87. As he does pick off a few more units here, but he doesn't have quite enough to finish this. He needs to get out of here. He needs to reinforce somewhere. But this was very much an all-in push, which looks like it is starting to fall. Realizing he needs to just go home. Might be able to clean off some of these creep tubers, which he will do. As more Stalkers have been added on, but more Roaches are being added on as well for our Zerg friend here. Our supply 112 to 79. And his natural base was not retaken, so he's not mining from his natural. He is mining on basically 2 base right now, as his main base is starting to get mined out for real. Interesting pun there. Anyway, Real just looked like he's trying to just hurdle up a little bit, trying to get his economy back in online here. Worker count has evened out as it is 67 to 65, but right now it is the army supply advantage that matters for Zerg. And with no tech changes up behind this, we do have the Broodlords on the way. Would be a great counter here for these Colossus and these Stalkers, as there is really no cost value added onto these Broodlings besides, you know, like that 2-3 seconds it takes for them to respawn and fire off again. As a Corrosive Bile is being thrown down here on top of Real, and he is going to have to start to push forward once again. He is trading out a lot of these roaches here for army supply. It looks like he wants to reinforce another Greater Spider about to finish up as well. Oh, the Corruptors. Okay. So he didn't have a Greater Spider. Looks like he's morphing in Overseers. My bad. But army supply 135 to 100. Zerg is maxed out. Overseers being picked off here as well. Gonna make it a little bit more difficult to re-max as soon as anything happens. We do have a Ling run by going into the main base here of Real. Looks like he's gonna try and knock down this pylon, which won't end up falling. Will get picked off, but he brought his entire army back for a few Lings there, which is gonna allow Zerg to be able to posture up and move that back out on the map. There are Corruptors here now to help knock down these Colossus. The Colossi. As again, he will not be able to mine from his natural. This is a forge, but Archon's here now in play, but he does have a Templar Archives finished. But does he have Storm? Nah, there's no Storm, so he does have Archons here, however. Looks like he will end up taking his 5th base finally. Looks like he's going to take it on the low ground. Some Colossus here kind of out of position. Gonna get some long range mining going as well, but he will get this round here. It looks like Toss is actually going to be able to get a very good fight in his favor as Stalkers are going to rejoin here. The swing to army supply once again back in favor of Real as it's now 102 to 82. He'll fly over there, calling out what exactly he needs, or his player from Ris3n needs. Realizing it is my bad, and he just leaves. The Toss is going to start to push forward here as he will be able to knock down this base as Roaches and the Colossus are going to be able to start to trade out. Corruptors are going to get to work knocking these down, but the Colossus is getting very good purchase here in this choke as he will back off here. Some drones look like they fall 20 drones so far. But the Concave and the Blink control still in favor of our Protoss friend. Like picking off these Corruptors as he backs out of here, so there will not be any more Corruptors here. The Lurker Den on the way, however, is going to change things up dramatically, as you will not longer be able to blink on top of Lurkers as soon as that count gets high enough. So it's really a matter of time at this point before Real has to find some incredible amounts of damage here. Economically, he did find 20 drone kills, which does favor him quite a bit, but he needs to he needs to find out about this Lurker Den. He really does. If you can't find out about this Lurker Den, his tech currently is not going to be able to stay up with these. These Stalkers will end up getting shredded pretty quickly. Still no base. He still has yet to take this base in the south. He just continues to expand across the top part of the map. And reinforcing with more Colossus or more Templars. No Storm. He does not have Storm behind this at all. He did not start to research it. It looks like he is posturing up for another push. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we do have a Roach run by. Looks like it's heading towards what should be the 3rd, 4th base location for our Protoss players. He is finally going to come down here and realize he can't take it. But meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Stalker push is coming once again to finish off this 4th base location for our Zerg friend here. Finding some damage, he does add on a few more Colossus. These Templar need to be morphed to Archons or something, because they're just not going to get much value out of them here, because there's no units that need energy. But the Broodlords are finally being added on against this Ravager composition as well. No Hydras out just yet, so no Lurkers. As it looks like Toss is going to start to push forward here and get on top of this Zerg army. Our supply 104 to 38. It should just be enough here to kill this off. His transfusions are going down here. He does fast feed back the Queens. The Corruptor will fall. GG will be called for Hometown Crib. And there we go. Inside Gaming staying alive here. Found Crib will get knocked out, which will now bring in the first diamond player for Ris3n. As Real looks like he might be able to hold on for another game here. Keep Insight Gaming in this. We'll be right back as we get our next game started up. This should be game number 6 coming up here for you guys. And I need more tea, so I will be right back. What is up, Mudcrab Mite? Welcome to the chat. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 6, I do believe this is, as it is 3-2 in favor of Ris3n. Spawning into the bottom left-hand corner of Mech Depot is the red Protoss pieces from Insight Gaming. It is real. Spawning into the top right-hand corner is the green Terran pieces from the Ris3n community. Playing from Clan Flames is the green Terran pieces of
Game paused.
Blunt Reality, as we do have a pause here. Israel does have to turn down his music. Back now. We'll be getting on the way here.
Game resumed.
Okay, we're back here as we do have a gas first going down here before the barracks. For Blunt Reality, our green Terran player. On Mech Depot. We're going to be sending out the scout here, as he does have to go around to the north side of the map. One thing I really dislike about Mech Depot is the fact the way this pathing goes for like any kind of army or any kind of scouts out on the map. It just feels a little kind of awkward to me personally as a player on this map. But I do have this map beat up. Probius does make his way up into the main base here. See exactly what our Terran friend is up to, as we do not have an SCV scout going out here for Terran. He just looks like he's going to rely on that Reaper. Which is understandable. A lot of players still prefer the Reaper scout if you do have Blunt Reality's SCV under siege here. Probius not getting really the best connection on that, as he will get chased off by Steve, the SCV. Run little probe run. I think he will live to survive another day. Master on the way. We do have the Nexus is on the way as well. They're both players playing very standard, as we do see the Cybernex core and the second gas being added on for real. He's going to make his way up into the main base. See, there is a Reaper opening here and a factory follow-up behind this. Reaper is going to come over here and just chase down this probe, make sure it doesn't go home. Alright, because Real will get the scouting information he was after to see exactly which way his tech could possibly be going. The only problem is it really comes down to add-ons for Terran, as he did see a reactor there before he left the factory. The wall off going to be finished off here is command center, and then Nexus are on their way. Nexus does finish up. We'll be able to get mining from that natural sooner. Do we see the Adept be a favorite here over the Stalker? As the Reaper is getting to make his way into the natural here of Mech Depot's. Annoying jump up for Reapers, because you have to come all the way around and go up the front here. So there's not much room for a Reaper to jump up, as your Depth Shade is going to begin to chase him around the map. Is going to get locked out a little bit there, but a second Adept is going to pop out here. This Reaper is just going to try for the scout before he has to leave. Photon Overcharge being used there, so there will not be another one if there is a Widow Mine drop coming up anywhere, which does look like that's how it is going to go for Blunt Reality. As we do see a Widow Mine about to pop out here, and a medevac is also on the way. But we do see the robotics facility on the way for Real. So not going through that Stargate tech is going to send a couple of depths out here to try and find some damage of his own on the other side of the map, get some scouting information. See if there will be an orbital here, see if there is going to be a wall off. Second Widow Mine and a Radovac are about to finish up here, so we should see these get loaded up very quickly here. Where they are sent out. First two Widow Mines are on the way across the map. They will be making their way into the natural base location and possibly to the main afterwards, depending on how many get unloaded here. But there should be an observer about to pop out, so he is pretty well protected from this. Stalkers in this composition yet? You have a stalker out? Two SCVs do fall on the other side of the map to these adepts. SCVs who were building an engineering bay. A couple of Marines. Does get that one Marine before he leaves. Shade being thrown out. Looks like he is going to try and make his way back in behind the natural base here. The Widowmine drop on the other side, finding 7 probes. Where does Military Corps or Medevac is going to have to make its way back on home. But he does end up leaving a Widowmine here, which should get another cycle off. Is the Observer killed? Where's the Observer? Where's the Observer at? The Observer is actually missing. Oh man, so he is going to get another detonation off or another connection here with this Widowmine. Picking up another 4 probes. We'll finally come down here and be able to kill this off. I feel he could have killed that off sooner. But it's alright. To each his own. Just a few workers lost. I mean, don't matter, right? He's still quite far ahead in worker count. And it is 35 to 25. Armor supply is about even. Upgrade is going to get started here for Terran as the medevac does make its way back home. We will be seeing another follow-up, and possibly a Marine Widowmine drop this time around. Hallucinated Phoenix being sent out here to see exactly what is going on the Terran side of the map. To see if there's possibly any ghost academies or any interesting add-ons to certain buildings that should be there at this point in time. A couple more depots getting added on here to complete this wall off. The Hallucinated Phoenix does get picked off here, but as we see, there is no Stargate coming out. We do have Blink on the way. It's a very similar build overall for real to last game. Going to go into that Mortal Robotics. For that robotics tech line. The Blink Stalker, maybe some charge loss behind that. Bringing some sentries with them as well. Bit of an Artosis pylon sitting out here. Powering a couple gateways. As we just see more and more Marines being added on to production. A couple Liberators being added in now. Another barracks being added in here. It's actually interesting because you should be about 5 barracks by now on the base. As I recall myself being told numerous times. We do have that Widowmine composition coming into play with the Marines. They're going to make its way across the map here and be able to keep track of this army. Pylon down here to, you know, just spot for anything coming in, any kind of drops. We do have Terran moving out that will get spotted by this Observer. This Protoss should know here that this is indeed being moving out on the map here. Kind of a scary army to deal with. Thanks for the follow, Steve. But kind of a scary army for Terran indeed, as the Widowmine's here is going to be able to zone out. The Liberator going to be able to zone out. But at the same time, this Liberator could get picked off here before it even gets a chance to siege up. The Widowmine does siege up, however. Making the best of connections there. Looks like he gets some splash damage and 1 Stalker out of that army, but the rest of the Widowmines do siege up. Shield being popped by the sentry, going to get turned off here. Waiting for these gateways to finish up. Trying to get some more units over here to deal with this. Scan being thrown down. Going to pick up the Observer, so there is no more detection here for Protoss. To see these Widowmines, as he is just going to keep getting pushed back more and more here by these Liberators. As the Liberator crawl is going to continue as he continues to reposition and slowly creep forward. There is a cannon being added on here. Photon overcharge being used to knock down these Marines. Try and get rid of some of this army. Make it a little bit easier as he continues to dance back and forth. As the dance of the Widowmines has begun. The siege crawl of Terran has also begun. I'm surprised he hasn't moved these Liberators up a little bit to try and block this ramp off, as Protoss is going to have to keep pushing forward here. Widowmine getting a decent connection there. Being able to pick off one of those units, but there is Observer has finally arrived once again, so he will be able to see these Widowmines. But you should be able to just pick these off with the Stalker, as the Stalker does outrange a Widowmine. It looks like Terran is realizing his position. Going to try and keep the pressure here, as he does rally more and more army to this location. As if he's just trying to break real here and now and try to get a decent connection from these Widowmines. But he continues to bleed off units. As another Widowmine does end up falling. But more and more Liberators being added on. And he can't quite blink underneath them because of these Widowmines that are still here. But he continues to add on more and more stalkers, which is going to be able to help him out here. Force field being thrown down, trying to trap a few units. And not the best of force fields here. He's actually bleeding out a few stalkers of his own. But he is continuing to trade out a few units. His army supply is 71 to 59 in favor of Blunt Reality, but majority of it is still rallying in from across the map as he looks like Real has had enough. He is just going to go for it. The Widowmine's getting some decent connection. He's going to bleed underneath these Liberators, be able to clean them up, be able to pick off these medevacs, and should be able to start pushing back this Terran army, but the army supply 50 to 31, now 50 to 27, as he is going to be forced to back up again, but he does have the room to breathe. Another Photon Overcharge being thrown down, does pick off a medevac, which means he will be able to push his Terran army back finally. There's no economic damage being done, but he did lose a few units there. Does clean up the last of his Marauder. It looks like he's going to try and push back himself. But on the other side of the map, we do have a Terran army resupplied and ready to go. More Widow Mines being added in here. More Marauders, more Marines. What is the Marauder count right now? It is currently only 4 Marauders. Stalkers are in position here to try and start shaving these off. Realizing that Terran is already sieged up and ready to go, he is just going to back up, start to get a Warp Prism in here, which he does surely need. Going to get that armor started up again. Looks like +2 armor on the way, or is that +1? Is he at +2 yet? Yeah, it's +2 armor. The upgrades currently 1-1 for both players. Blink is done. Then the combat shield are done for Terran. Templar Archives being added on, so it looks like he is going to start favor that Storm Tech over to Colossus this time around, as there is no robotics facility or robotics bay anywhere. Does start a 4th base to the north, as Terran does float his on over. It looks like he does float the main. Well, no, the main's here. Still full of energy as well, so he's not really muling anywhere. Observer is going to be able to keep tabs on this army, however. As we do kind of reach a bit of an impasse in the game, as both players just continue to get their tech up. We have Charge and Storm started up for real. Terran over here just continues to build his bio army, building Widow Mines, building Marauders, Marines. Starts +2. We have 2-2 armor on the way. An attack for Terran. Toss does indeed know that there is indeed a 3rd base. 4 Terran down finally. Incredibly late. It's 12 minutes into the game before this base was actually landed, but he did drop the Mule Hammer pretty quickly, so he is getting that return value. Just 2,500 is insane right now. Scan being thrown down, trying to find that Protoss army. It really does juke both of those scans, which should tell Terran that there is indeed the threat of an attack coming up here. Warp Prism on the other side of the map, dropping in some Adepts. Looks like he wants to pressure the 3rd base. These Adepts. Rocks being knocked down to open up this map a little bit and make it easier for Real to navigate the map, be able to rally a little bit easier. As Charge has finished up, Storm has finished up. There's no Templar with this army just yet. You have both players kind of positioning themselves here. It looks like he's going to go for a blink straight up into the main base. He's dancing. He's thinking about it. The army is going to reposition here. He's just trying to draw this army out. Draw away from this 3rd base as the Adepts are going to shade in here. The Widowmine not getting any kind of connection here. They're going to have to unsiege or unbarrow and move yet again. 2 SCVs falling. Shade being thrown up. But these Adepts should get cleaned up before this shade finishes. Unless you do that in micro waves. Shade right into the natural base. The door completely wide open as more and more SCVs are falling. The Protoss army going to push in on the other side of this Terran army. Force fields being thrown down. Widowmine's getting some decent connections. There are Liberators here to push this away. But it looks like he will bring this army back down here to try and deal with this. Adepts getting picked off by those Widow Mines, as he does try to shave off those Widow Mines for himself, to make it a little bit easier for his army to move. But he did pick up 8 SCVs there, and he delayed some mining in the 3rd base. So it looks like Real did get some very good economic damage done. That play. Baited the Terran army to one location while he just jumps up at depths in the other. Meanwhile, Terran looks like he wants to make a move out. 2-2 is about to finish up in about 5 seconds here, which is the next timing for Terran to push. This 3-3 should start up immediately behind this to keep that window in his favor. As upgrades right now are only 2-1 or 1-2 for Protoss. But there is Storms in play. The Storms need to come down here as soon as he gets a chance. No force fields here to lock this in, but the Widowmine's barrel right on top of this Protoss army. Decent connection here. The first storms are coming down, and Terran eats a chunk of the feedbacks on top of these medevacs as they all just start to get picked off, and Terran losing a huge army there. As the Archons are just going to start to morph in here behind this. Stalker's going to blink underneath these Liberators, and that might actually be the beginning of the end for a Terran player here. As he's just bleeding out more and more units as they rally in, the Liberators are going to unsiege and try and get out of here. Which does swing the army supply in favor of Blunt, or in favor of Real. And even the worker count here is now 71 to 39. GG going to be called, and Reality will tap out. That evens the series up at 3-3, and this is match point for both sides. As we will see if Real or Insight Gaming will be able to hold on. Or if is it going to be Ris3n in the end to GG seize it for themselves. Make it 4-3. Last game, Real's showing exactly how PvP can be played in many different ways there. Taking up, getting the Storm Tech out, getting the Mortals, getting the Stalkers for the Liberators. Reality just kind of fell behind that adept play with the Warp Prism. The shade in there, not, shaving off some of the SCVs, finding that economic damage. But it does look like what is playing back currently on stream. And it is down to one player remaining for both sides. We'll be right back with you as we wait for the next match to actually get on the way. Thank you very much for that follow, Gravity. Race check and ready checks being thrown out here as we get into our last and final map. Does appear to be Catalina. For those of you who don't know, go check out Base Ray TV. They have a very interesting intro for this map. But we all will forever love the cactuses of Cactus Valley. as we get on the way here. Spawning into the top right-hand corner of Catalina is the blue Terran pieces, or blue Protoss pieces, apologies, of Icy Real from Inside Gaming, who's tied this series up 3-3 in the anchor spot. Looking to close it off for Inside Gaming. Down the bottom right-hand corner is the red Zerg pieces of Skill Ganon, who's also looking to end the series 4-3 in favor of Ris3n. Skill Ganon from Ashes community. He already sends out that first Overlord in the opposite direction, trying to get the spot on the main base, which is completely understandable from positioning. Depending on where you spawn, you'll see the main base on this map before you will see the natural, or vice versa. As we do have his natural base being taken. I'll have to throw that up before at the end of the game, the intro to Catalina. We do have Gateway coming down here for that wall off. Gas being added on. We do have the Nexus follow up after that for Icy Real. Drone Scout coming out here to see that there is a Protoss base up here on the opposite side. Drone not going to be able to block this Nexus just yet, as he does just send it on up into the main base to see exactly what is going on. Maybe get that gas steal. Looks like he is just going to bypass it. Get that Drone Scout to finish up there and probably send it back home and continue mining, as we do have Hatch Gas Pull. A very standard opening so far in this last game of the series. Looks like Real actually scouted the opposite direction as well. Alright, he will come down here and eventually see that there is a hatchery down, as well as a spawning pool about to finish up. So you should be able to reason that this was a hatchery first. Probius is going to hang out here in front of this hatchery. Next is about to finish up. Cybernetics Core does finish up, and this time it does look like that wall. The Immortal will get through that wall. We'll actually have to kill off a gateway. Get out. As the Overlord is going to make its way in here, unless he decides to go for more of the Sky Toss tech this time around. We do have the gas steel coming down here for Ganon. Costs almost nearly nothing, as it does cost 25 minerals for that extractor. For that drone. Which in the end could wind up giving him some decent tech, or decent scout and tech of positioning abilities, but as it is all getting built forward so far, won't be able to spot anything just yet. Look at Gateway was being cancelled there, so the depths can wall off and get that probe back in, but a third base is being taken in the south for Ganon, so he's looking like he wants to play a little bit more greedy here. Get that 3-base economy rolling, as this is a third base within the 3-minute mark. At the same time, it just looks like Ganon, or Real, is going for that same style play he did before. So far, anyway, there's no robotics facility being added on. Speed is just about to finish up here for Ganon. Other than that, we do have the extractor finally getting killed off here. Even these probes are getting their time in here. Getting that overtime. Phasing away this extractor as they continue to fall. Or poke away and zap and do whatever they can to kill this thing off. Because we do have the robotics facility being added on. Ganon with that Overlord speed will be able to get in here and scout this out. Warp Gate Tech finally finishing up here for Protoss. As the Warp Gates start to morph in up here. Overlords are positioned around the base here, so no Warp Prism can sneak its way out as the sentries do get added on here. So again, we are seeing that very similar composition that we saw before. Is a Baneling Nest does get added on, which tells the lair has started up. Which seems that we will be seeing that Hydra Ling Bling composition that has become the current standard meta, so to speak, for PvZ, TvZ. A lot of people say not to do that in TvZ, but again, it seems to be working quite well. Sentries here are going to start to tase down this Overlord as it just floats its way on out of here again. A Ling here to block the third base location for Protoss, as it looks like he might just have to expand forward. The Overlord's again getting pushed away. Other than that, we just have Ling Bling composition right now as Lair is about to finish up. Observer on the way, and +1 attack has started up. So again, very slow to start game. Nothing too crazy going on, as it does look like Protoss does want to get out here, get control of this low ground, and maybe make a push. Hallucinated Phoenix going out here to see exactly what he's up against. Good indeed see that there was... Oh, it looks like he just missed it. The Ling army is going to come in here and get to work on this third base position, which should force a cancel. I'll have to expand it in the other way, as these Lings are just going to get trapped on this ramp here and get picked off. Not really trading any units for himself. The pylon is being added on to the low ground. Looks like he did actually... Did he scout the Baneling Nest? Yeah, he scouted the Baneling Nest, okay. The Hydralisk Den has started to be... is about halfway done. So again, he will see that there is going to be Hydra Ling Bling. Actually, the Observer doesn't see it. This is actually kind of an issue here, because you can't really see that Hydra Den about to finish up. But with this many Lings on the map, he might actually be able to just figure out that this is a Hydra Ling Bling composition. Just once again, these Lings are going to make their way in here and try and deny this third base location. Should force another cancel. Nope. It actually gets the snipe on this third base. But already the third base has been canceled and killed off twice. The Lings are just finding their damage, or worth in damage here. They make their way home, as the fourth base is going to get started up in the... looks like almost the bottom left, down here in the bottom left corner. Protoss is alright, I need to make a play here, so he is going to start to push out. The army supply in his favor currently evened up now, however. Does pick off an Overlord on the way across the map. Army supply is now 48 to 47. Dead even. Worker count in favor of Ganon as well as 55 to 45. As that third base is still not down yet for Toss. It does look like he's going to come over here and try and throw it down one more time. This time it looks like it should be pretty safe for him to get it up. Get it saturated. He scout the Hydralisk Den yet? That's the real question. No, he still does not know about the Hydralisk Den, as muscular augments are on the way. Getting that range and speed advantage for his Hydras. +1 range attack is on the way. These Lings are going to come in here and get the scout. He's just trying to fortify the low ground by the looks of it here. Make sure he has some room to photon overcharge this to push this army away from this location. Fourth base does finish up here. It looks like the Warp Prism was over here to try and deal some damage. Army is just getting rallied back into that corner. Looks like it to be defensively. Phoenix is going to make its way across the map here. He needs to fly this into the main. Okay, he will confirm now, however, that there is a Hydralisk Den down. Which, okay, he knows what he's up against. So how does he respond? He throws out another robotics facility, gets a Colossus on the way. No thermal lance starting up just yet. Gil does get his third base finished. Is going to be able to start mining from that location now. Observer though here does get sniped out, as the Overseer did finish up. Few Lings here to scout and give that information of where this army is at. As we'll be able to pick these off, as these Lings here are going to make their way up to the fourth base location for Protoss. See that there is no fourth base. Looks like he might actually just run up into the main, actually, as there's no army here to defend this run by. Photon Overcharge being thrown down, as these Lings are going to split and head into two different locations, into the main and into the natural. Photon Overcharge being thrown down into natural, warping into main. But two probes falling already. Trying to get a third probe before these all die off. Things are going to get just some damage in on the Colossus, but the shield damage that will be regenerating here very shortly. Run by finding two probes, not a lot of damage. But he does get the scout that there is no fourth base for Protoss down just now. Or at current time. As Ganon just continues to morph in more and more Banelings, Aspire being added on as well. +1 Carapace and +2 attack on the way. A few more Hydras are finishing up here. Thermal Launch and Charge on the way here for Protoss, as he does look to make a move out on the map, while Army Supply is even in his favor. As it is 91 to 89, but 104 as Zerg just swung it back the other way is 102 to 91. But Thermal Lance here He'll be able to even this out pretty quickly and trade out a lot of these units as he does have sentries in the mix. The force field off is going to make a push out, try and shave off some of these units. 104 to 99 as the Stalker did look like he got picked off there. It looks like he just feels that there's just too much here to push into, as Catalina being such a weird map to fight anywhere on the map. This location being one of them is a choking just be swung either way. A few more lings being zoned out there to go and make sure there's no army on the high ground to find the look. Figure out exactly where this army disappeared to. Make his way up here to his main base, see if there, or third base, see if there is some cannons here. The banelings being morphed in. Seeing the cannon, realizes his damage won't get done, he's just going to cancel the banelings. Tries to get the scout on the fourth base location. She doesn't quite get it, but should realize that there is a fourth base down by now. As a fifth base for Zerg is taken in the main base over here on the left hand side of the map. Does look like we have a Zerg army moving out on the map here to try and find some damage of his own. Looks going to swing around from this fourth base. With no observer in the mix here, he won't be able to see that there is an army going up here to the north. But you will be able to respond, should be able to defend this. It looks like Zerg is finally going to commit and realize that there is no Protoss army here as the Death Ball continues to grow. Storm is on the way as Templar Archives has finished up. Archon's morphing in here as well. Observer being added on, another Warp Prism, Blink as well on the way. Trying to hit him in two different locations, he will have to come back to defend his fourth base. As a cannon here is going to fall. Probes are going to have to be pulled to fight these Zerglings, or he's going to lose a lot of probes here. 2, 4, 5 already falling, and that probe count continues to climb in terms of how many have been killed. Finally warping in some units here to clean up this Zergling run by, but not before 11 workers have fallen, and the worker count 77 to 33. Army supply is in favor of real as we reached that time when Protoss is just going to be this really hard race to crack. You got Storm finishing up, you got Thermal Lance done, +2 attack is on the way. Cracklings are coming out. Adrenal glands are about to finish up here, about halfway done. So these Zerglings are going to be able to find a lot of damage very fast. But Storm is going to finish up with +2 attack. Lurkers here. Fungals as well for the Infestors are going to trap some Zealots here. As Protoss is losing a lot of army here to these Lurkers. He was trying to get a fight in his favor. His force was being thrown down here, shaving off some units. Picking up 7 drones actually. Off of warping in the main base by the looks of it. And 7 more continue to fall. Need to work on an extractor. But now he knows what he's up against. What will he do is the question. You got Corruptors on the way to knock down your Colossus. A Greater Spire also on the way. His Tier 3 Zerg is coming out. The Zerg is going to continue to press forward here as these Lurkers are going to burrow, but not before a lot of them get shredded out here. Storm's being thrown down on top of this army. Microing away from this, however, but there's still a few Lurkers here. But Ganon's army supply continues to grow at 133 to 84. And this is a very battered and bruised Protoss army. Upgrades are slightly in favor as he does not have +2 armor on the way. There is one Lurker left burrowed here. He does take a 6th base over here on the opposite side of the map. It is starting to look like Ris3n is going to get the win here if Real cannot pick up the pace and find some damage that he needs done. As a Hydroling Lurker composition, just be able to shred this. And now you have Colossus in play. Also going to be a bit of a problem. But he did reach kind of an impasse here as more and more Protoss. More and more Protoss will be added on, but the Zerg army supply is still 133 to 92, but we do have Storms. Broodlords also being added on here to help out with this army. He needs to make a play before these Broodlords finish. He does pick off an Infestor that was burrowed on the high ground. These Archons are going to get to work on these Corruptors as they do splash damage. Should be able to clean up a lot of these very quickly here. Corruptors are pushing forward here as well as Broodlords. 2 more Broodlords do finish up here. The Zerg army is supplied 123 to 96. Just continues to morph in more and more Broodlords as he's just going to have to pull his army back from the other side of the map that looks like he's going to use for a run by. It is now or never for Protoss. He has to find some damage here. He's behind in upgrades, behind in the economy. As the worker count is climbing for real. It's 57 to 53 actually. He did find quite a bit of damage. There's 4 more drones have fallen on the map. Continues to drone up, but he is going to start to push forward here. Onto the creep, clean up this tumor. Brewlords here. He's going to try and blink underneath these Brewlords. He does pick off one so far. He is going to continue to push forward. Some of the Zerg armies across the map here as more and more links are going to get added on, but has Protoss done it? The army supply is still climbing, but he is losing a lot of army supply in his favor as a run by on the other side of the map. Picking up 8 probes so far. And this might be it for real as this Protoss army does get swallowed up by the Zerg. And GG will be called. Ganon finishing out the series for Ris3n at 4-3. As the timing on his attack just continued to slip further and further away. And the attack for Zerg just continued to grow further and further ahead. And he's all Zerg had to do is wait for the attack to come his way. And from there, it's just all you needed, just to turtle up and wait. Protoss was behind. I think Protoss could have taken that fight a little differently. Not fought in off that ramp that's incredibly choke based. But with that, that will be it for the series, guys, as Ris3n does win the series 4-3. Real almost closing it out. Where's congratulations to Ris3n. On a very well played series this time around. Very clean. He's going to be thrown out here in chat. But with that, guys, I do want to throw out the the banter being thrown back and forth between in party here. But with that, guys, I'm gonna throw this out there that Insight Gaming does have a Nidus League match tomorrow that Ris3n, you guys are more than welcome to join in and watch. I'm gonna try and cast that one as well. There's no guarantee whether or not they're gonna have casters from Nidus themselves cast it, or maybe Lost in Translation cast it. But that matchup will be at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. As the last of this game is closing out here, his final push is coming back on stream with that 3-minute delay. I'm a little bit ahead. But with that, guys, I will say have a good last bit of your weekend. Got Game of Thrones starting up here in a couple hours. But with that, I'm going to close it up there. I'm going to throw this mic on mute. And I'm going to go find some nice cool air because the AC here is broke. And with that, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for the follows if you threw me a follow. I'm going to start streaming some more again as I'm waiting on the artwork from my artist to come back. With that, I will catch you guys somewhere in the game, maybe next week for another clan war. Who knows? I do want to get another match in with Skystorm community next time around. But other than that, GG's all around, and I will call it here. Y'all have a good evening. Also, guys, if you want to catch any of Insight Gaming's recent Clan Wars, or for that matter, Nidus League matches, they are on my YouTube channel. They're probably still up here on Twitch. Not sure when those all get taken down. I think it's after like 60 days or something like that. They do start to get cleaned out. Yeah, the link to my YouTube will be down in my channel there. You can click that and go right in and start watching them. And with that, guys, I'm going to close it out for one final time. Good games all around. Hope y'all enjoyed Game of Thrones tonight. And once again, tomorrow, Insight Gaming will be playing against Lost in Translation. That is a Nidus League matchup. And from what I understand, Ris3n is also wanting to get into the Nidus League. I hope I didn't just let anything slip I shouldn't have there. But with that, I bid you all a good evening. I'm going to go find food and some cooler air. I hope you guys enjoyed. I do cast a lot. But again, congratulations to Ris3n. So y'all have a good evening.